Monday, August 19th. It's about 9 o'clock. I have been up and mowed the backyard, push mowed the backyard, and let all the dogs out, and mowed the chicken yard, and weeded around the storage building and the rabbits. Mr. Spots is about the same. He did drink quite a bit of his water that had the antibiotic in it, so maybe that will bring him around a little bit. I'm going to get some carrots for him. I've got to run to the grocery store and pick up a few things, so I'm going to get some carrots for him. The plan for the rest of the day is to do some sweep the house like I do just about every day, and get my clothes together for this week. And I've got to do my fair entries for my livestock today, and I'll probably go ahead and do my entries for the home ec, because in reality I'm probably not going to get that much more finished before the fair starts. You know, I dream big every year and I don't always hit my targets, but I try. I've got a couple of smaller things that I can put together or finish up before then, and like those deco mesh wreaths don't take me that long to make, so I might make a couple of those up. Yeah, so the plan today is just to kind of do housework, and then, you know, as always, take care of the animals and stuff. And then I've got to make stuff for lunches for the week. I don't eat out for lunch usually at all at work. I usually take my lunch with me. If I do eat out, I usually go over to our cafeteria, which is actually pretty good. Our school cafeteria, you know, it's not like when I was in college. They actually have really good stuff. Of course, they have the traditional hot line, and they always have burgers and hot dogs and chicken sandwiches, and they have a really good salad bar. They have a grill area where they have everything from fajitas to stir fry. They have an omelet bar. They have a sandwich bar. They have soup I mean, it's and pizza. I mean, it's not like when I was in college. There's quite a variety of food there. And my favorite thing is the little man who does the ice cream. They hire a lot of senior citizens. In fact, our student that works for us now, Jeremy, when he was going to school there, these people, he remembers working there then, and that he graduated in 2010. So they've been there a long time. So, you know, I like the little man. He's very quiet, and I don't think he hears very well, but he's a very sweet man, and he always likes to chat if I go up there to talk to him. Yeah, so I need to look at the schedule. I think there's a service learning breakfast in the morning. I need to check out, see if that's going on. I may have been last Monday and I may have missed it. I forgot to look at my calendar, but plan for today is just to kind of get rounded up and get ready to go back to work. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting today. Probably no canning, no you know, I'm sure I'll work on some sewing and some crafting projects later this afternoon, but this morning is going to be focused on getting the house organized and getting my laundry organized and my clothes, so that I can have this week to go back to, you know, get around to go back to work. So anyway, that's what our plan is for today. Sounds terribly exciting, doesn't it? Anyway, I'll check back in. Turmeric is about to bloom. Look at that. I didn't know it did that. So yep, that's my turmeric root, and my ginger root's doing really good. My coleus is looking really good. I'm going to pinch these flowers back so it'll keep putting on pretty leaves. So that's good. I didn't know it did that. Awesome. Well, I just got through feeding and watering everybody outside, except I still need to feed the ponies. I let them have a little bit of grass. I still need to feed them, but it's starting to rain a little bit with some thunder. I'm going to go in and work on my fair entries. I think they're due the 21st for the livestock. I've got to figure out which rabbits I'm going to take. Unfortunately, Mr. Spots, I lost him this morning. I checked on him this morning when I got up. As I'd said, he was doing about the same. I gave him a couple of pieces of carrot. When I got back from town from buying groceries, he had died. I looked at his registration papers, and he was actually a little bit older than I thought that he was. And I've been reading, because I lost one of my silver martins a couple of years ago to a similar situation where they were just kept losing weight, and their teeth were okay. And, you know, everything I tried, there just was no stopping it. And apparently as rabbits age, they can get a gastrointestinal issue where their gastrointestinal system basically just stops working. And the symptoms that he had and that she had were identical. So I'm wondering if that's probably not what it was. And unfortunately, apparently when that happens, there's just not a whole lot you can do other than surgery, which, you know, is not cost effective, unfortunately, on a bunny rabbit. Sometimes that's harder on them than, I mean, that they die from that too. So, sadly, there is no more Mr. Spots. I took him up where I laid the other bunny to rest, and before it started raining, and yeah, that's life on a farm, unfortunately, you know, especially when you have as many animals as I do. There are going to be losses, as I have mentioned before in my podcast. Still sucks, you know, to be quite honest, especially when you try your hardest and nothing seems to help. So, yeah, reminds me of when I lost Pandy, but that's a story, my little mare, that's a story for another day, not today. Anyway, I'm going to go inside and get something cool to drink and work on my fair entries, and yeah, I've swept already too, so anyway, work on my fair entries, and we'll see what else we can get around to this afternoon. Well, I did my livestock fair entries, which were the ones I wanted to get done today. I thought they were due on the 21st, but they weren't due till the 27th. So I had a little bit more time than I realized. I started working on my home ec entries and found some problems with their website. They switched everything over to an online entry last year, which really messed some of the older people up. And there were a lot of mistakes in the website. They had hired my friend Lisa's husband, or asked, I guess they didn't hire him, he volunteered to fix it, but the program that they bought to use is so messed up and kludgy, he couldn't even fix it. So there's apparently a class at Tech that knows how to work with this particular program, which is fine, and I understand that this is a volunteer thing, but you know, I'm fairly tech savvy. There are a lot of older people that they're expecting to be able to do online entries that are not tech savvy at all. And the problem is, like, I got to the food preservation part, and I'm an open exhibitor because I'm a grown-up. I'm not part of a club. You don't have to be part of a club to be an open exhibitor. And there's a drop-down menu that requires you to fill in a club. And if you don't put one down, it won't take your entry. And about the quilting, the food preservation, and the crochet tattling and knitting category, because they apparently don't check for typos either, all were messed up. Luckily, my friend Lisa was online. I had posted a comment asking who I could talk to about this on the fair Facebook page. And my friend Lisa, who is one of the poultry superintendents, saw it. Now, the livestock stuff looked a lot better this year, so they did at least get that fixed up. And I know it's a volunteer thing, and I'm not trying to be hateful, but it's frustrating enough to me. I can only imagine how frustrating it is to someone who's not necessarily that confident with computers. So I did get some of my things entered. I did get all my livestock entered. I went ahead and entered some of my craft stuff because it looked okay. It worked okay. I guess I got to start going through and figure out what I'm going to enter. I've got to do some washing and blocking and weaving in on some ends. I think I'm going to enter that lunar phase shawl that I made back in the spring as my knitting, one of my knitting entries. And then I'm going to enter my antler hat, and I've got a crocheted bunny rabbit. I've got a crocheted shawl, my Kraken shawl. I'm going to enter that. I didn't get everything done that I wanted to. I mean, I just ran out of time. I always dream big, right? Shoot for the moon. So whatever I get done, I get done. I've got my turkey done. I've got my little bear done. I've got my mitts, my hot pads done. I've got an apron done, although I would like a little bit better one to enter, so I may try to get another apron done. I'm going to have a vest done, a couple of vests done. I've got a latch hook pillow I need to fix. I've got that quilted pillow. I've got that snowman, but I think I am going to take it apart and cut those wonky pinwheel stars. If you remember from one of my episodes, those pinwheel stars are just bad. So I think I'm going to take the binding off of it and cut those pinwheel stars off and rebind it. I've got some other quilting stuff that I could probably get finished. I mean, I've still got, you don't have to have your home ec entries online done until September 7th. So I've still got some time to work on that stuff. But yeah, so food preservation, I was going to go ahead and start that because that's by far my biggest category, the stuff that I enter. But it was one of the ones that was messed up. So hopefully whoever she contacted will be able to fix it. I'm sure what they did is they just put that required checkbox. They've got descriptions required on everything else. So I suspect that's what was supposed to be checked on these, and they just checked the wrong field. I did enter my Cherokee bushel basket and my nitwit basket. I've got some jewelry I'm going to make to enter. I'm trying to think what else. I've got some wreaths that I could enter or make and enter. I'm trying to think some of the other things that I don't want to try to push myself to get too much done, but I'm not going to have much sewing this year to enter. I'm going to try to get an apron done and a vest, and if that's all I get done, then that's fine. I've got some baby bibs that I could I've got cut out that I could make up, so I might try to make up one of those. I've got a real cute little Noah's Ark wall hanging that I started quilting years ago. I probably could finish that and enter it as well. We'll just see what I get done. But the main thing is I got the animals entered. I entered my salmon Favorel chicks, and I entered a Flemish Giant, a pair of Netherland Dwarfs, one of my Silver Martins, one of my English Lop, a pair of Mini Rex, my Standard Rex, my English Spot Female, and my Mini Lops. So I've got to figure out carriers for all of those. I think Jacob was going to come Tuesday. We may try to start making some carrier cages to take them in. I'll have to sit down and figure out exactly who all I've entered. But that's a good thing about going into work tomorrow. I can print out my entries and we can get that sorted out. So anyway, today's just kind of got me knocked back on my heels a little bit, I guess, with Mr. Spots. And then one of my young pigeons, I don't know what attacked it, but they've really hurt its head. Sometimes the parents will get really aggressive with them to try to make them get out of the nest if they're already sitting on new eggs. I've seen them do that before. So I've got it up in a separate cage right now, and it was eating and drinking, so hopefully its head will heal up. I'm really thinking about selling my pigeons to Mr. Duval because he's expressed some interest in them before, and so I may go ahead and sell those to him. I enjoy the sounds they make, but if they're going to be mean to their offspring, I'm not sure that I can handle that. Anyway, so, yeah, I've been making labels for my canned goods that I did the other day, and got some rain, a little bit of rain outside and some thunder, so the dogs are sticking close. It's just been kind of a funny day, y'all. But I'm sure tomorrow will be fine too. I did some laundry and swept the floors, and I'm going to go in there and change out the laundry, and I may go knit for a while. That always lifts my spirits, right? So anyway, I hope y'all are doing good so far, and I'll check back in with you after a while. Willie wanted to let everybody know he was feeling much better today. He seems to be just fine today. He's full of beans. He's a little upset with me because I took Wally to town with me a while ago. So how dare I take Wally and not Willie? Hi, Sadie. Are you wanting to tell everybody how you are today too? Yes. You're a good girl. Okay. Now. Anyway, Willie would like to let his fans know that he is doing just fine today. So, other than he doesn't want to share Mom's lap with anyone else, apparently. Well, if you watch my podcast, you recognize where I'm at. I'm in my craft room. I was kind of found myself moping around most of the afternoon. There's a reason why I didn't grow up to be a vet, because I knew that I couldn't handle it. Where my dad pointed out I couldn't handle it when animals die. I was going to erase everything that I had recorded because, I don't know, I just got to feeling kind of down, but that's part of it. I mean, all we can do is the best we can do. That's all any of us can do anytime. And I feel like I gave 100% to him, Mr. Spots, to try to save him. And that's all I can do. They can't live forever, and I know that. My dad used to fuss at me about that, and I know they can't live forever. But it just frustrates me when you try so hard and it doesn't go well. But you can't continue to beat yourself up, because I've got all these other ones that need me to be there for them. I went out and fed the cats and fed the dogs and gave the ponies and Gusty their afternoon feed. I had let them out on the grass for a while, and I came in and was kind of moping around between Mr. Spots, and then they got the fair website fixed. Apparently, it's good to know somebody on the fair board, I guess. But I haven't gone back and looked at it. I've got till September 7th to enter my home ec entries. I just wanted to get my livestock entries done today. So I'm going to try to go through my stuff and figure out. I'm working on the little vest, the little Halloween vest. I've got it sewed up. I've turned it. So now I need to press it. And then the way it's constructed, you sew it together at the sides. So you sew it right sides together with the lining and the focus fabric. And then you turn it and press it. And then put the sides together, and you have to do a little bit of hand stitching to close them up, but I'm on that part, and then I'm trying to decide what I want to work on next. I've got this cute little rabbit that I want to make. It's a basket, if I can get it here. It's it's made by Daisy Kingdom, and it works up to make a little basket like that. It's pretty good size. I mean, it's a pretty good size little bunny rabbit. So I think I want to make that next. I was going to see, it's printed on like a felt, so it's got a little bit more body to it. I was going to see what it took. It's got fiberfill, ribbon, Velcro dots, cardboard, which I'm sure I've got that, sisal twine for whiskers. I don't think I would use sisal twine. I think I would use something a little stiffer. Maybe pipe cleaners would work good. Ribbon for the ties, I guess, a doll needle, quilting thread, and plastic grass. So I've got the fiberfill, I've got the ribbons, I've got Velcro dots, I've got cardboard in my recycling. I've got sisal twine, but I don't think I would use those for the whiskers. I think I would use maybe white pipe cleaners or chenille stems, I guess they're called now. Yeah, so I might make that next. That looks cute. I don't have anything prepared for an Easter entry, so I might do that next. And then I want to make some clothing entries, and I had bought this a long time ago on eBay. I think I showed it on the podcast. If I didn't, I meant to. It's a little girl's witch costume, and it's a vintage panel. It's a printed panel, but it's an older one. Okay, it's a little girl's costume. It's got the little dress, and then it's got the little hat on it. I'd kind of like to make that next, so we'll see. if I make the dress, I want to line it so it's got a little bit more substance to it. So it's finished with bias tape, which I've got plenty of bias tape. And apparently this is glow-in-the-dark fabric, so that's interesting. I've got some other options of things that I can make too, and I don't think I've showed this yet either. This is a little, what is this? This is a little jumper. It's a little girl's dress with Raggedy Ann and Andy on it. Raggedy Ann and Andy back to school jumper. And I might make that up because it's a little panel. Again, I would line it because I just think they look nicer if they're lined. And then I've got these panels of, I think I did show these. I've got these panels of like bibs and stuff that all they have to do is be finished with bias tape. So, I might make those too. I might start with those because those would not take very long, but I need to improve my ability at applying bias tape. So, and I've got the snap setter that I could put a snap on this, or I've got Velcro dots, either one. And that would be a cute little entry for the sewing category. But I only want to enter the sewing categories if I make sure they're really good quality. Willie's having a fit to get in here. Can y'all hear him scratching at the door? Then I've got this little panel. One of the categories is Valentine's Day. And I've got this cute little bear. He's just a little bear you sew up. Stuffed bear. I might make him next. I don't know. I want to make something happy. So I might make him next. He's got a little heart, and on the back it says, "You're berry special." I'm going to fix that. You're berry special. Isn't that cute? So those are all some things that I had pulled out to make. You know, I've shown some of these on the podcast. I know I showed these. These are the little boys' Christmas overalls that are the Snowa's Ark. I know I showed those, and those would not take very long to make either. So I need to get this vest finished and look for my Halloween buttons to apply to it. I also want to think about some jewelry that I want to make. I don't have my big charm pieces out of jewelry that I want to make, but there's categories for jewelry and there's like necklace and bracelet and there's always miscellaneous, and then there's miscellaneous craft where you can just enter anything as a miscellaneous craft. So I'll probably I'm going to enter my Knitwit basket and my bushel basket, and I'll probably enter that gathering basket that I made as my miscellaneous craft. Yeah. So, you know, I wrestled around with whether to delete that or not, and I thought, you know, that's part of life on a farm. I mean, that is just part of it, and you know, we need, like I talked about the highlight reel the other day, you know, I feel like if I'm going to be legitimate about this Vlogust stuff, that's part of my day. Part of my day was Mr. Spots did not make it. And the pigeon does seem to be doing better, however, so that's good news. You know, so I'm thankful for that. I gave her or him, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, I gave it some electrolytes, and it does seem to be doing better, so hopefully it will be okay. Anyway, yeah. I think this is where I'm going to end for today. There's just, all I'm going to do is sew the rest of the evening, I believe, and you'll see that. I'm going to record a regular episode of my podcast tomorrow and show my finished objects, which are well, you've seen them if you've been watching or have heard me talk about them. and my works in progress. I'm going to talk about, for science, I think I'll talk about the radioactive Boy Scout, and then, you know, just kind of summarize farm life. That won't be news to any of y'all that have been watching these vlogs, but anyway, I think that's where I'm going to end for tonight, and I'll pick back up with y'all tomorrow, and y'all get to come to work with me tomorrow. So anyway, I hope y'all have a good night. I hope that you've had a good weekend and that you've been able to spend time with those you love of whatever persuasion, human or animal. I hope that you are doing well and feeling good about things, and that you're meeting your crafting goals. And until I see y'all again, y'all be good to each other and take care of each other. And peace out, y'all. Bye.